Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 30-Minute War. I'm your moderator today, WillND, and I'm here today. We got Buckeye Mike, the crazy Bucknut, and we have John, the fan from the team up north. How's it going, fellas?
Really good.
Go blue.
Go Bucks.
It was an interesting weekend for both teams. Both teams were facing not great competition, but Ohio State finally looks like they're waking up. Their preseason is over. But Michigan, they won, but it wasn't pretty. So I have to ask, JJ did his best Tanner Mordecai impression for the week. Turn the ball over. So, John, can you explain the game and what you think happened?
Can I explain what I think happened? So, yeah. So this game, obviously, we have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to look at all three games. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh has not been there to be the coach, which I think has had an impact on the amount of scoring that's happened. As far as Bowling Green, I think they were a better opponent than I thought that they were going to be, especially on defense. Because in order to score to get those interceptions, you have to make a play on defense. Like, yes, JJ made mistakes. Yes, he threw to the wrong guy on multiple occasions. Yes, he should have thrown the ball away on multiple occasions. But Bowling Green had to step up and make that play. So you can't completely say, oh, they played, I'd say, on defense pretty good. And so, yeah, 3 picks isn't ideal for JJ. He did score 2 touchdowns as well. But his last 2 games were near perfect, right? I think he only missed like 5 throws combined in both of the first 2 games. So I'm going to allow him the mulligan here. If he goes into Rutgers and does the same thing, then we can start to worry. But I don't think it will. Good news though, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards both had a decent showing. Blake Corum has continuously had them, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, and now Donovan Edwards is getting into the mix. And people were worried about that. Even though the play designs were like kind of gadget for him the first 2 games, and he was used as a decoy a lot. He did get 50 rushing yards. Cornelius and Roman Wilson both had decent games. I liked getting Loveland more in. But the defense is lights out, and they've been making sacks left and right. You've seen a couple of players, including Keon Sabb, the backup safety, has looked really good. He had 3 tackles in this game. Obviously, Kenneth Grant was a real impact player in the first 2. And I think he's going to be a real important player for us. And of course, you've got your veterans. You've got Junior Colson, who has always impressed, and 5 tackles, 2 assists. Mikey Sanders still, Buckeye Mike. You remember Mikey Sanders still? He can make plays. This guy can make plays. And even in this game, he had 3 tackles and a sack. So overall, my thoughts are I think JJ played a little too much hero ball. I think maybe the lights got to him. I'm not going to make excuses. He played hero ball. He didn't have to. He could have handed the ball off and maybe not even passed a single time, and they probably could have won anyway. So, in my opinion, it's going to be fine. I said this on Saturday on Michigan Post Game, Voice of College Football. It's going to be fine. Everybody take a breath. Harbaugh's back on Saturday for Rutgers, just in time.
And I think it's personally a carousel. I mean, I am shocked to a degree that you guys came out 3-0 because I thought ECU could have got you. I thought Bowling Green, the way that y'all were playing, could have got you. I mean, how do you not blow out Bowling Green? And honestly, it all goes back to J.J. McCarthy, and that is why. That's my question for you. how would you grade J.J. McCarthy, the next backup for the Cleveland Browns behind DTR?
Not Sam. Not Sam.
JJ McCarthy is going to be probably the starter for the Raiders when Jim Harbaugh goes to the Raiders.
True.
That's my theory. But the next Browns, they need some help. I will watch
Well,
that.
it sounds like DTR is going to start here within the next couple of weeks. So
He should. But anyway, I think he's going to be fine. You're obviously, like, is 3 picks good? No. But when you have a defense like Michigan has, it didn't even matter because they just kept getting to Bowling Green's quarterback and scoring sacks left and right, getting takeaways when they needed to. So I'm not worried. Jim Harbaugh said it himself in the presser. He's a gunslinger. I'm not going to take that away from him, and he shouldn't. There's some things that they're going to coach over the next couple of days, but not concerned right now.
And on to the Silver Bullets. It looks like they maybe woke up a bit against Western Kentucky, although Western Kentucky's defense isn't great. But still, 63 points, nothing to sneeze at. Do you think that they're turning a corner, or do you think they just played a bad team?
I think it's a combination of both. The defense looked elite from what I could go back and watch. I couldn't watch it live. I think he worked. The defense really shut it down basically from the get-go. I predicted this would be an absolute shootout. I thought that WKU could get anywhere from 28 to 42 points because of the way that this offense is known to, as Michigan apparently somehow all of a sudden likes to do so. Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, love to gunsling the ball everywhere. Now, the difference is Western Kentucky ain't big enough and don't know how to play dirty like apparently Michigan figured out, and the SEC does. That hit on that Bowling Green kid, that number 11, oh my God, took him out the game.
They play hard. I don't know if that's dirty or if that's good football.
He's done. He's just what I think he went back to his Stanford roots. They're playing similar to Stanford.
Yeah, most likely, realistically, just a little jab. But offense as a whole, I like what I'm seeing out of Kyle McCord. I think with the amount of snaps Kyle got and the amount of snaps Devin got coming into this week, we kind of figured he was going to be the starter, which I don't completely agree with. I still feel like teams like Notre Dame and Michigan, or scum, are afraid of a guy like Devin Brown. But you know what? There is a lot of promise on the horizon. And as far as this game, I think we got the job done. We were supposed to win. We won. A win is a win. I'm looking at you, Colorado State.
Yeah.
So are we ready to get the previews and preview?
Well, I gotta talk a second. We're gonna do a little rebuttal here. Congratulations on your win. It was a better win than Bowling Green. And what's funny is Western Kentucky is based in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is just a fun little aside. You did what you were supposed to do against a crap team. Kyle McCord looked the best he's looked. I'll give you that. Obviously, 3 touchdowns, 318 yards. I don't think that Western Kentucky was a true threat to your O-line, though. And I think that when you're about to play a team called Notre Dame, and we'll talk about it, but I think that I think it's really going to come down to, can your O-line hold up against them? And that's going to impact, because Kyle McCord can look great against teams that have, a defense that is a sieve, but if you, that is not going to translate to Notre Dame. Those two teams are not like the other. So the question is, because the defense looks improved. I will say that. The defense, I would say this year, has taken a massive step up for you guys. So it just comes down to, can your O-line hold up?
Absolutely. And Carbon asked a good question. What are the odds Notre Dame goes all the way from Aspen? Awesome. Glad you're watching. I think if Marcus Freeman can get his freaking head out of his butt and have more than 8 wins, and actually win a bowl game, yeah, I think
they won a bowl game. They won the Gator Bowl.
Okay, he's 1-1 in bowl games, and you lost the bigger game. Marcus Freeman on a smaller level is a carbon copy of Jim Harbaugh. They can't win the bowl games, except for the ones that don't matter.
I see why you would think that would be the ultimate insult, but like, you do realize Jim Harbaugh went to a Super Bowl and had to win a conference championship to get to a Super Bowl. And you do realize he won an Orange Bowl with Andrew Luck. I mean, it's not like he hasn't won a bowl game in his career.
But what's he done for me lately?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't win a freaking playoff game. You can't win a playoff game. And Michigan fans outside of you are hyping, and some Ohio State fans in the hopes that if Michigan does win the national championship, that Harbaugh leaves, are hyping Michigan and Jim Harbaugh to win the national championship. I mean, can we get off of the crazy train for a minute? I mean, Harbaugh and Michigan is 2-7. We're not talking about, and that's the weird thing. I am honestly shocked and amazed at the success that Harbaugh has had with McCarthy, because of the fact that McCarthy is not the standard typical quarterback that works well with Jim Harbaugh. You said it yourself. Andrew Luck. He's closer to Colin Kaepernick in this style of play, if you think about it.
Harbaugh
he had more success. Do what?
Harbaugh compared JJ to Andrew Luck in a lot of ways.
That's too much, because Andrew Luck is not a successful carbon copy of Tom Brady. Andrew Luck is more of a pocket passer like Brady and Peyton Manning, whereas JJ McCarthy is a Colin Kaepernick, is a Lamar Jackson. He's like the white Lamar Jackson. He's a Jalen Hurts. I mean, it just blows my mind, because he's been known. I mean, O'Corn was not a
We're going back to O'Corn.
O'Corn was in a league of his own, man. I don't even know what was going on there.
Was not a runner. And you know what? I don't even remember much about O'Corn. You know what I remember about O'Corn? I wish we would have won this game for our seniors, man. I'm crying at the podium.
Stephen 3 to John O'Corn might be my two favorite.
All or Nothing on Amazon, and it was nothing that year. It was nothing. There's a little self-burn there. But yeah, why do you sign up for a show like that? It's basically a jinx. I'm convinced.
Pretty much, which is why I don't think the Jets are going to do anything this year.
Yeah.
Hard knocks. Anyway, all right. To kind of reel us back in, let's have a word from our sponsor.
fakes. How do you avoid buying fake items that look just like the real thing? Are you getting faked over? Experts say it's all in the details.
You're muted, Mike.
You're muted.
Sorry,
Still
technical difficulties. Thank you again to our sponsor, eBay. Go check it out and maybe get you some discounts. All right. You now have the floor, my friend. Rutgers,
Okay.
Michigan.
All right. So let's tackle this game. And by the way, those of you who are watching, I do strongly recommend you watch tomorrow's Voice of College Football Michigan show, Michigan Wolverines Live at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We're going to have Nelson Hubble from Maize and Blue Review, Tanner Wooten from Blue by 90, and special guest star giving the Rutgers perspective, Christian Dyer from Rutgers Wire. So we're going to have a jam-packed panel tomorrow, but I will do my best to cover it myself today. So essentially, this is a 3-0 versus 3-0 matchup. And obviously, I don't know if I expected Rutgers necessarily to be 3-0, but I thought they'd at least be 2-1 with their slate that they had. Jim Harbaugh's back. That's the number one thing. Daddy's back, and I think that plays a role. Also, it being at noon in Michigan Stadium at the Big House plays a role. JJ McCarthy has looked, except for this last game, he's looked pretty solid. 82.4% completion ratio, not bad. I think he's going to, if they call the right plays where they utilize quorum. I think that what was really successful against UNLV, and I think it'll be successful against Rutgers too. There's this one play design that they do. It's like a fake handoff to the running back, and the running back runs a route, and then they throw to the running back, and it actually confuses defenses. I think that even Rutgers defense will have problems with the fact that Michigan can run the ball with the quarterback, run the ball with the running backs. They can throw the ball short, medium, long distances. The running backs can get involved in the passing game, especially Donovan Edwards. And, the real, I will say on the Rutgers side, Kyle Monangai, the running back, has looked great. He put up, I want to say 150 something yards against Virginia Tech. He has 5 touchdowns to his name. But you can have the best rusher in the world. If your quarterback is only at a 51.5% completion ratio, that's not ideal. And we're saying, JJ had a rough game, but he's 30 points ahead in completion percentage. So that's something. I will say Rutgers being the 19th best defense in the country is notable, but they're also 8th worst in passing yards per game. Rutgers offense is better than last year, but that's not saying a lot. Kirk Shiroka, I respect him as an OC, but I still think that Rutgers is one of those Big Ten teams where the defense is much, much, much better than the offense, and you need both to beat Michigan. So I think Rutgers is going to put up a fight in the first half. It might even be tied. They might even be ahead at the end of the first half. But Michigan has superior firepower, just like last year, and I think they pull ahead in the end. And they beat Rutgers. I think I predicted on yesterday's show like 28-17. I think that's possible, and
Okay. If Michigan beats Rutgers 28-17, Michigan does not deserve to be the number 2 team in the country. I mean, that's like Georgia beating South Carolina 24-14. Secondly, congratulations, Michigan. You will be playing your first professional NFL football team lookalike, because guess what? The way that my good buddy over here, John Dianimo, just described Rutgers is exactly the way you would describe my heart-wrenching, heartbreaking Cleveland Browns.
They do have
I
a
mean,
good team.
it's basically the equivalent.
Yeah.
As far as this game, realistically, Rutgers should not have a chance by the time they step off the bus. I mean, Michigan needs to come out and punch them in the mouth, and punch them in the mouth, and punch them in the mouth, and then kick them somewhere the sun don't shine, and then punch them in the mouth, and keep punching them in the mouth until you have to help them up because they're bleeding from their mouth so bad. Michigan should win this game easily and handily in an area of 63-14. For one. For two, if we're being realistic, Michigan has no chance or way of scoring 63 points. Your defense is good enough to give up, let's see, 3 to ECU, 3, I believe it was, to UNLV, 6 to Bowling Green. So you've given up 12-ish points.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I mean, one of the worst teams in the conference, and you're going to give up 17 in a single game. I mean,
They have a great running back. They have an OC that beat Penn State at freaking Minnesota. I don't give them zero credit. I just think that their defense is a lot is like statistically the statistics show that their defense is better. 19th in the country in the amount of yards that they're allowing. Again, it's against Virginia Tech. It's against Northwestern. It's not like that they've played in really anybody major either. But Northwestern is technically a Big Ten opponent.
he said technically.
But
I mean, the way that you make it sounds like Michigan is about to have their South Carolina game. So it's making me think that Michigan's going to go in, and I mean, you're in a perfect spot. All you have to do is win, obviously. Where
by 1 point,
whatever reason, we have to.
Harbaugh said, "You just have to win by 1."
Yeah, it's a bad mentality. But for whatever reason, we have to go in and freaking blow everybody out because for whatever. I mean, it kind of seems unbalanced if you ask me. Which makes me think that Michigan will squeak by and get the job done. I think, obviously, Michigan will win. If we're talking reality scores, I think Michigan will win probably 21-10-ish. That area, 21-10, 21-17. And yes, I do know that I'm calling the kettle black by saying they'll score 17 points.
Are we going to over/under on JJ interceptions at 1? What do you think that he might?
What's
the over/under?
Over/under on JJ interceptions at 1?
1?
Over, baby.
I'd say that's a push. I say 1.
Push. Okay.
Nah, over. 4.
4.
I'm telling you, man, he is loving the way the Browns look right now. Give me that 4 interceptions because he's saying, go Browns. I want the Browns.
You do realize that before last week, the only game he had more than one interception was the playoff game.
TCU, I know.
Yeah. Like, it's not like he's consistently been Brett Favre and throwing 3 or 4 picks. Like, or I guess in this case, Mordecai, we've been making fun of a lot for throwing a lot of picks.
I mean,
it's only been one game.
The problem is every time that Michigan is on a big stage. Now, granted, it's on BTN, it's at noon, so there's more pressure on the other guy that we're about to talk about than there is on JJ McCarthy this week. Every time he's on the big stage, he shrinks. He shrinks. And I give him the exception on Ohio State. But if you look at every other big stage, he shrinks.
How about the Big Ten championship game? How about the fact that he was the only one that scored a touchdown?
Give me a break. You're telling me that – okay, so you're telling me that by beating a team in Purdue that basically lucked into winning the division, can we all agree they didn't deserve to be there? That it would obviously have been Ohio State, Michigan, and if everything had been aligned properly –
Sure, if there's no divisions, yeah.
Yeah, like it'll start being next year.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, but I guess you just have to define big stage. That's the Big Ten championship game. I don't know what the only bigger stage is the playoff games. That's it. And Columbus
okay.
Penn State was a pretty big stage.
I mean, I don't know. The thing is, if you look at the singular stat lines, like just the stat line itself, it was at home against Penn State last year.
True.
This is the middle of the day, I believe. It was like the noon game, wasn't it?
Probably, or 3:30, one of the two, yeah.
Check back with me after Penn State this year. When you're playing on the road at Penn State, it should have been Penn State's whiteout, but obviously for stupid reasons wasn't. Ohio State, I mean, I'm already booking it. Ohio State is going to lose to Michigan.
Wow. Okay.
Already?
Damn.
I have no faith in McCord. McCord is not as much of a threat to Michigan as Devin Brown is. Now, if somehow
that's what I said, yeah,
job, that's why I'm pushing for Ohio State to lose. Because if they lose, having full confidence in McCord, you look really stupid. And therefore, put Devin Brown in.
What if the situation at Ohio State is similar to the one at Alabama, where McCord isn't the best, but Brown would look.
Alabama's next level. That's okay, you've got Tommy Reese. What the hell was Saban thinking? And then you put in Tyler, you know all about Tyler Buckner, your boy over there. What the hell was going on last week?
Well, everybody calm down. We have to respect Grandpa Saban. So let's not bash on Grandpa Nick. But I will say, in everybody's defense, a win is a win. I mean, we can't be biased.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that you look like absolute shit. I mean, it blows my mind how many people are proud to beat South Florida 17-3 in South Florida.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you now, they're losing. And if they lose, it's over for the season.
Yeah.
They have to win.
Yeah.
From now on. Mm-hmm. All right. John, you want to start it off?
Oh, I'm starting it? Okay. Ohio State at Notre Dame. I think Ohio State is favored by 2.5.
I think so.
I think Notre Dame's going to win. I think the reason I think Notre Dame is going to win is because of what I said earlier about the O-line. There's no doubt that Ohio State has some of the best wide receivers. I've said this for the last couple of years. And this continues. Hartline is one of the best recruiters of wide receivers and coaches of wide receivers. And I also think that Ryan Day overall is a pretty good play caller. I think he called his best game against Georgia last in the playoffs. Thought that was really good. Heartline, I think they've discussed that slowly they're going to start passing the torch over to Heartline for play calling, but Ryan Day will probably still have most of it, if not all of it, against this team. But yeah, I really do think that your O-line is a problem because Kyle McCord with like a better, like Georgia's O-line or Michigan's O-line would probably be able to win this game. But I don't think with your situation that's going to be the case. I also would worry about your secondary against Sam Hartman and what he's able to do. He's a big improvement over the dumpster fire that was the quarterback situation at Notre Dame last year. He's a really good quarterback, and they did a good job at getting him. So yeah, I think Notre Dame's going to win the game by like 3 points, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm nervous and excited about the game. I mean, I just feel like I've never seen a speed Ohio State. So I'm like, okay, I got to see it to believe it. But I don't know. Like with Sam Hartman, like if we give him like enough protection, which the guards haven't been great so far because they're new. But as long as we give him protection, I think we'll win. I'm looking for a big way. I want to see like a big pass play early with Chris Tyree or Tobias Merriweather, our two speedy receivers. If we can just get that going and then eventually be able to run the ball a bit, I think we'll do similar to what Michigan did. I think we're gonna try to run, but we're definitely gonna pass it early. And I think if we can have success passing, I think that'll really help. Yeah, and bottom line, and I do think that the team that wins the lines of scrimmage will probably win the game. And I don't know, I just have more faith in our lines of scrimmage right now than Ohio State's, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the game goes, but
all right,
the offense should be able to show out.
You guys ready for this one? Because this is huge.
Yep.
Like if I get all of this right, this is like next level.
I'm ready.
Here we go. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get hurt.
Oh my gosh.
Kyle McCord is just going to fall apart because he doesn't have Mr. Reliable.
Wow.
With MHJ out, they are able to shut down Emeka Egbuka. And I don't have any faith in Mr. Farm Boy Cade Stover anymore because, I mean, I haven't even heard anything out of him. Hartman puts Notre Dame on his back. And guess what? Notre Dame finally beats Ohio State for the first time since the Great Depression, 1936. Notre Dame with an offensive showcase blows out Ohio State, showing that Ohio State needs to move on from Kyle McCord and tell him kick the fucking curb, and Notre Dame wins 41-17, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
I mean, I have absolutely no faith in the O-line. The defense is good, but I mean, the way that Notre Dame runs their offense and the way that just overall, it's like, I don't know, next level of whatever switch that Sam Hartman has brought in to the Notre Dame locker room. And they're just all like, yeah, we're confident. We're going to win.
They're going to be coming out like they're going to win for sure. I mean, they came out like they're going to win last year, but now with Sam Hartman, I definitely think they're going to believe.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a whole different level switch that he somehow brought with him for whatever reason. I mean, you know, it's the first real test. I mean, yes, as we discussed a couple weeks ago, Will, NC State should have been a test, but I mean, look at what you did to them. And I mean, if going back to the question for the Western Kentucky recap, if the Silver Bullets are back, prove me wrong. You finally are playing a top-level competition, and I mean, just there is still so many questions that everybody just wants to skim over because we're coming into this 3-0. Notre Dame's coming into this 4-0. Stupid week 0 games. We'll talk about that some other time. Absolutely stupid, retarded. because not everybody plays. I mean, if you're going to have week 0, just make everybody freaking play. Notre Dame is probably the best they've been since Brady Quinn right now.
Am I going to have to defend Ohio State? So I think that there's a bit of a mismatch here. I don't see this score, and the reason is because, okay, I think that you're as good as I think Hartman is. Audric Estime, that's I'd say one of your key guys, and that's a mismatch because Ohio State's front, like D line, like JT2, JTT. I always butcher the last name, JTT, and like they're really good. The secondary, not so much, but the D line is good, and I don't see that. That doesn't seem like a good matchup to me. That's why I'm thinking Notre Dame will win, but I think it's going to be much closer than that. I wasn't expecting that from you, Buckeye Mike. I mean,
Audric was the main silver lining of that Ohio State game last year, though. Like, he had success against the Buckeyes last year.
True.
So, I know Ohio State's defense is better, but
True. Mike
I
Ford
think
said
we'll
it right.
definitely have. I think definitely late. I think because Audric has been able to I think Audric can have a similar run to Donovan Edwards because Audric's been able to Audric's gotten faster. It's scary. I'm like, oh my gosh! Like last year he was kind of slow and physical, but this year he's fast and physical, and I'm like, oh my gosh! He's just a freak of nature right now, man. But I definitely think Notre Dame will use all 5 of their backs. I think Estime, Price, Ford, Payne, and Love will all get some. But I think Audric will probably get the plurality of the carries for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's the number of people in here, but I'm surprised the chat's not blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I really think the score is going to be this bad, but I absolutely everything else is correct. Notre Dame will win for the first time since the Great Depression. That is actually something that Michigan has been able to do that Notre Dame hasn't. Michigan, to their credit, have won in Columbus and at home since the last time Notre Dame was actually able to beat Ohio State.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like Lou Holtz's teams would have definitely beaten some of Cooper's first year teams, if they would have actually played every year.
In summation, Will, we need you to join the Big Ten so that we can get back to playing every year, every other year.
Yeah. Also, I feel I don't know, with McCord, man, if we can get pressure on him, which I definitely think that we will be able to get some, although people have been complaining about the D-line, but I don't think they've been as bad as Irish fans have been complaining about. Even though your receivers are so great, I feel like our secondary is good enough for that they can't get separation right away. And if we get quick pressure on McCord, I don't know. I don't have that much faith. I mean, I'm a Notre Dame fan, so of course I'm not going to have faith in Kyle McCord. I'm going to want him to lose, but I'm not confident enough in him that I think he can.
Well, I mean, I'm an Ohio State fan.
Make a dime.
And I just absolutely praise Sam Hartman. I mean, Kyle can make the reads if he has enough time. I just don't think with the way that the Notre Dame defense stacks up, I don't think he'll have enough time to make his progressions because we have an offensive tackle issue that still hasn't been solved. And obviously, Western Kentucky's defense was shady, so that kind of covered up the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Youngstown State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to look, and I think this is my whole point to Michigan fans. It's easy to look dominant against lesser competition. Now, I know the last 2 years Michigan has looked dominant against Ohio State, but Ohio State is equal competition because look at your playoff game. You just completely disappeared. So it's all about the level of competition, which is why I am excited for the next 10 years, because we have home and homes with Oregon, which is going to change because they're coming to the conference. Home and homes with Bama, home and homes with Georgia, home and homes with Texas, Boston College.
Boston College. Oh, it's funny. They're funny. But I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking I might have to defend ND a bit, but I don't know. I just really hope that some of our receivers can break out, because people have been hating on the Notre Dame receivers for years, but I feel like they'll be able to get some separation, and Sam Hartman will be able to throw it in there for them. I want to see some big plays for Merriweather and Tyree for sure.
Well, I mean, as much as I hate it, I think if you have Ohio State running the dink and dunk like they did in 2018 against Michigan, and you have Notre Dame run the dink and dunk, I think Notre Dame has a better capability and a better chance of actually succeeding. Obviously, the Ohio State secondary has improved, but how much improvement? I mean, like I said, you can look like a shutdown corner and safety against Indiana, bottom of the barrel Big Ten. Yeah, it's a Power 5 team, bottom of the barrel. Youngstown State, FCS team. Western Kentucky, group of 5. I mean, if the silver bullets are really here, and Ryan Day or somebody sees this, put this on the freaking boards this week and check it off one by one and prove me wrong.
One thing I think Notre Dame's linebacker play has also gotten significantly better. I mean, it's the same guys from last year, but they actually look like they know what they're doing, which at times they didn't last year. So I definitely think that they'll shine as well in this game.
I think I threw a curveball because John's just sitting there like, I don't know what to do or say.
No, I think it's an interesting prediction, and I'm just kind of like I was not thinking that was going to happen, but I'll say this. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited for Michigan to get back to playing better caliber non-con opponents. I look forward to playing Texas next year. That's going to be fun, although maybe not quite so fun because JJ might be in the NFL and Jim Harbaugh might be in the NFL and Blake Corum's going to be in the NFL. So maybe it's not going to be so fun, but I'm still excited about it.
Arch will be starting in that game.
Arch. Yeah. Possibly, unless they shop around and decide they don't want to be there. But, Texas seems to be doing a lot better now.
Mm-hmm.
Arch Manning.
Texas is bad.
Arch Manning. Overrated.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to close us out, where can people find you? And what do you got going on this week?
Well, I'm going to be I did my show with Jeffrey last night. That was a lot of fun. Our little review and recap show. I'm going to be on Inside the Irish back on Mike's channel, probably tomorrow if he can do it tomorrow. And, I'm going to be on the Pac-12 show as well, so it'll be fun. And, check out the post-game show. Win or lose, I will be doing the Notre Dame post-game show with the 2 Irish brothers and Wicked Bronco Productions. So, yeah.
So everybody can follow me at John Diadamo. I just passed 1,000 followers. I'm finally putting some time into getting that up. So please follow me on Twitter/X if you have not, so we can keep that ticking up. Tomorrow, like I mentioned, is Michigan Wolverines live, 5 p.m. Eastern. We have an awesome panel lined up. I'm very excited about it. I already mentioned who's going to be on there earlier, but Rutgers Wire is going to be on there. Obviously, we'll have Nelson and Tanner back. Saturday will be Michigan Post Game Live with Dre and myself. And then I also do Mondays, Big Ten Live. It's called the Ocho, which is a panel discussion where we bring on the voice of college football community to give their take on the Big Ten games that had just happened and the ones that are going to happen. So lots going on.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter right here. I'm approaching 400 followers on Twitter. So go over there, follow me over there. And I'm sorry, Elon. Here's a big double imaginary middle finger because I'm not calling it X. That is the most thing ever.
You can call it Twix.
That's right. Twix, yeah.
That's what freaking Truth Social is for. So yeah, follow me over there. You can praise me. You can tell me I suck and I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about because Ohio State is going to go into South Bend and absolutely demolish Notre Dame, and they're going to be out for blood in 2 months and beat the ever-loving crap out of Michigan. You can tell me that I suck on socks and need to have a drool bucket. But just go over there and give me a follow. We can chat it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope everyone had a great night. Thank you for tuning in to 30-Minute War.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button, subscribe, because it helps everyone. And as my good buddy Ref always says, it builds morale. So we will see you next week.
I'm a game changer.